So hello everyone, good evening. We will be talking about the Apache Solr training today. So this is kind of a demo or foundation class. We will go through about this session about like what we are going to cover in this training and what are the topics we are going to cover and what you can expect from this training. So we will cover these things gradually. About the solar Apache Solr trainer. So I will introduce the trainer, like the background of the trainer. So presently I'm pursuing the research in applied machine learning where I actually work in few topics like recommendation engine and the personalized recommendations and all those things I worked on. I'm working on, and that too also actually for a European government project. So there I use a lot of the search techniques and all such things. That's how I am related to Apache Solr. Before that, I worked as a software developer. So there for very long, I worked on search engine and also there I have extensively used Solr and along with other search engine techniques like Elasticsearch and all. I currently I work also as a freelance trainer. I provide training on various software fields along with the Apache Solr. I have almost 5+ years of industrial experience, and I provide training as a freelancer, as I said, and I have almost 10+ years of experience in data science, machine learning, and the search engine tools. So basically, I just want you all who are watching this session now, so to have a glimpse about that what we are going to cover in this topic and what you can expect from each and every topic. So straight away I'm going to the topics where there are slightly brief topics under that outlines are given. So we will go through one by one a little. So basically we will be starting with Solr foundation class where we will be talking about what is Solr and Lucini and all. Before I will start with all these things, so basically I just let you know, possibly you know about a little about Solr and all, that's why you are here. On top of that, I just want to add that Apache Solr is actually a search engine tool. Okay, so if I say it very simplified manner, that it helps you to search something, like let's say you have 1 millions or 1 billions of data, then what will be a trivial things or trivial technique to search something out of it? So you will go through all this 1 billion or 1 million data one by one and you will search something out of it and you will present the result. So now this is definitely a trivial technique, but this is definitely not a very practical technique in nowadays, right? So your search technique has to be very fast, very optimized, so that your user can actually see the result, your search results, in almost in no time. And also at the same time, when you are actually promising to do that, there is a lot of overhead from how you will be building that and all such things. So Solr is a tool from the Apache organization. It's an open source and free tool that you can actually make use of, and then you can build your application on top of this search application, a search tool named Solr, where it will help you to search things in an optimized way with huge data, so that it can present you or it can find you the data, it can find data for you in almost in no time. For that, whatever it needs to be done, Solr actually helps to do all such things. So basically in the Solr foundation class, I will be talking about, let's say, you know about Solr, right? You know about various databases. So we in databases, what we do basically, databases is one kind of aspect in data management system, right? Where you can actually store various kind of data. So now you have various kind of data, then we know there we have a structured query language, SQL, which helps us to retrieve some data out of it. So that's fine. We can store data in some relational manner or in document storage manner that we know from NoSQL or relational DBs like Oracle and all, MySQL, Oracle. So we can store data and we can retrieve the data. That's okay. Retrieve needs search techniques. That is also okay. But let's say if you have lots of data, and you don't want to search in a SQL manner. Why? So first of all, let's say you actually have built one application and then you are presenting that application, or you are actually have published that application for the normal user. So now normal user doesn't have any idea about or any idea regarding the technicalities. So if someone has to search something, then he will be searching in a high level English, right? Same thing like how do you do with the Google. In Google, nobody comes and write a structured query language to search something. So that means there should be, like when in Google we actually search in using a high level English language, beneath the scene or like behind the scene, there is actually a search engine tool which is actually taking that high level text and then trying to search inside in using lots of different techniques and all that we are going to explore in this training session. So using those, it will find the corresponding data and it will present you in front of the user. So that means search engine is more on top of databases like where you actually have all this data. On top of that, if you want a normal user without having technicalities want to use the search, that means normal user will just provide a text, like let's say you have documents related football, cricket, sports, this, and then one user just want to search something, saying something like, okay, football t-shirt. So let's say in any database, if you just write football t-shirt, you are not going to get any results. Maybe there will be some errors throwing that, okay, syntax is not a, this is not a query syntax, so it is a syntax error is there and all. But a normal user will be always searching like this. So for this, you need some search engine tool in between which will actually take this high level text from the user and then it will return the result. In between, whatever things needs to be done with this, Solr as a search engine tool will be doing this. And the main purpose of this training session will be in between how Solr is doing this, taking the high level text and then in between doing a lots of things like indexing, querying, sorting and all these things and then presenting the results. This training session will promise you to explore all such things in very details. So that is what mostly we will be talking in the Solr foundation class. Then we'll start with like how to install Solr and in your machine, and then when you are installing Solr, how it is different than installing it in your local when you are learning it, and at the same time when you will be working in organization in production, how it actually uses. So in production, when you needs to use the Solr, it has to be in the big scaled way. So that also we will explore in this session. We will be discussing about how Solr works, how it actually index the data for fast search process, how it query the data so that users sometimes can be very wrong. So let's say if you search something in the Google, you have this kind of confidence. So if you may not have searched the word in a very correct way, but you are still getting the result. So let's say you search something like, let's say it is like, okay, football t-shirt, and you searched it as like t-shirt football in the different way or like in different order, but you are still getting the result. That means your search system should be fault tolerant, enough fault tolerant so that minimal errors should be resolved and still you should be getting the result because you are actually serving the normal user, not a programmers or developers. So in that way you're searching. Now these things is okay, but how it does, how it actually, when your sentence is still not okay or still directly not matching with your documents, but still you are able to present the user the correct result. But how we will be doing that? Yes, in this session we will be talking about that thing too, like how Solr actually make use of the query parsers, and it actually takes help from some advanced mechanism from the query parser and then provides the result being enough and fault tolerant. Then actually we will be talking about how Solr deals with different kind of fields of the data, if data are boolean type, text type, and then string type, integer type, date type, being all such different types. And if you have given like, okay, this day I want a book which is published between these to these dates, like you are dealing with lots of data types. So if user is providing those data types, user can provide it together, but how you will be dealing with that, how Solr will be actually dealing with different data types. So all such things we will be talking about how Solr actually deals with this in their schema structure. Then also Solr has some kind of role-based things, like how Solr provides the admin interface where you can actually manage Solr. So when you are using search engine, like how much memory it will be taking, then let's say when you are searching something, how much fault tolerant it should be, then like when your Solr, like if somebody, you have lots of documents, right? You have lots of documents and different fields contained for that documents. So let's say you have documents like you have books, and then you have books, different books information stored in your data storage. You want to search on top of the title, but you are not mentioning it. You just write the name of that book. Now where do you want to search that name? In the title of that book, in the content of that book, in the indexes of that book? You don't know. So in admin interface you have lots of control. So in control, like you can go and you can mention the default fields where the search should be happen. If user is not mentioning in particular which field you need to search upon, then you can actually define the default field where you can actually mention the default field. So user is not providing it, Solr will be searching on top of that. How Solr will be doing the indexing, for indexing which algorithm it should uses, all such things you can actually define in the Solr administrative control. So you have more control on role basis on top of Solr. So Solr basically, so let's say how it came. There is something called Lucene. Lucene is a search based engine, but it's a Java library. It's a Java library tool. But the what is the problem with it? Because it was mostly it was mostly developed for the programmers, like Java programmers and all. So they know how to use it, but it is hardcore program. It's on hardcore programming level. But let's say nowadays, if somebody wants to, if somebody wants to, like a commerce guy or a business person who is actually taking care about his business and wants to use the Solr search engine tool, he doesn't have much idea about the Java. Will he will be able to use that? Yes, for use purpose he can use that. So for that, what Apache did, Apache actually on top of that Lucene, that is the hardcore Java programming level tools, they built a wrapper. So put the engine in the center, then they put a wrapper so that usage became more friendlier, so that you don't have to worry much about the engine behind the engine scene, what is actually happening in that engine. So in simplified manner, Lucene is the engine, and the overall structure with that engine is the car. That car is the Solr. Okay, so there are various kind of things, and along with that, Solr started providing lots of features. Like in recent days, you can understand how advanced everything is, so that the search engine too. So Solr provides a lots of features, how along with the sorting of the data, how in real time you can like when data is getting fed or data is getting put into the Solr, at the same time on the real time only you will be able to see the data. So how you can actually be able to see that, Solr provides that. Now let's come into that. If search engine is doing such things, and because such this is a tool, this will be deployed in some machine, and that will be doing the search engine, the Solr will be doing the searching techniques for you. Now the problem is, what if that machine gets failed, or machine just gets some electrical error or some kind of problems it got and all, and that machine is not running. So Solr also provide the production ready environment, that is the cloud based techniques it provides. It has the different like fault tolerant techniques, and already things are enabled. But how it does that, how you will be actually dealing with it, how you can manage those things, in this training we are going to talk about how Solr manages the cloud, how Solr works on the cloud with different machine, how you can actually um, use that. And the best thing is also, like let's say Solr provides that how much things you can actually use it. Like let's say somewhere from somewhere else you got to know, okay, this is how you can use the Solr cloud. That's okay. Now what will be the problem? The problem is, for your organization, for your scale of data, how much configurational data you will be using, or what configurations you will be using for Solr cloud, how many machines you will be using for fault tolerant. how many backup you will be using for fault tolerant. This should actually, you should have a proper idea to do that. Why? Let's say you are actually using, for an example, 10 machines for clouds. You actually need 5 machines. If you can practically analyze this more on that, you will be needing 5 machines. So what you are doing in your organization, you are actually taking 5 more machines, that is, you are wasting it. Or let's say you have taken 4 machines, you need 6 machines. That means it is actually working as overload. If you have given 6 machine, it would have been better. So that means you actually should have a proper idea, like how you can actually use solar cloud in a best possible way. In this training we will be discussing about such things, like after having the idea how you can use the solar cloud, at the same time according to your organizational situations or organizational demand, how you can actually scale your solar cloud to best fit in your organizational requirement. Okay, so that's what I discussed till now. We will be discussing about how Solr works. That includes how Solr indexes the data and makes the search faster, how Solr queries it for you, how it does the sorting when it is providing the data to you, how it actually deals with defaults, settings and all such things, how Solr maintains the logging, grouping, paginations. So all kind of advanced techniques, along with all these advanced features are Solr provides on geolocal search, different kind of Solr plugins that Solr is providing, how you can boost the result. Let's say in your organization, you are it's your organization is same like Amazon system, where you are actually, it's a e-commerce system and you are providing different content. So people are searching, you are showing the data. That is how it should be in the real case. Now let's say you want to promote something. In new season there is some new t-shirt came and all. So if you don't do anything extra, your new result will not come up. Always the best relevant result will come up. According to Solr, what it does, it's actually work on the relevancy. Which one is more relevant will come on top. So according to that, if you don't do anything special, it will always put the relevant one at the top. Now purposefully you want to put something on top, something very on top, some new seasons data or something, or some promotion due to some promotional brand and all, you want to put something on the top. How you can do that? So Solr has features like boosting and all, how it actually helps to put the things at the top, using the negative boosting or positive boosting, or using the negative boosting you can send something behind. So all such things, how you can do that and everything, we are going to discuss in part of the advanced features in Solr. How Solr does the boosting, negative boosting, positive boosting, how it achieves such things, all we are going to explore in this training session. Along with that also we are going to talk about how Solr works on AWS, and how Solr basically comes with pre-installed pre-integrated soft server where it deploys, that is the jetty. Along with that, in various organizations, depending their structure, Solr also mostly gets deployed on Tomcat. So in this session we are also going to discuss, like, if not the inline integrated server like jetty, if you have to deploy it on Tomcat, how you can do that, we are going to show you that also throughout this training. Also, let's say when we are talking about such things, I can promise you one more thing, like this Tomcat and the Java and the Lucene and all these things, when we are talking about, we will be using all recent versions and how in recent versions those works. So that was about our the Solr and the topics and the content that we are going to discuss and going to cover, gradually explore throughout this training. There are some add-on topics that we are also going to touch like alongside this training. That is that recent days machine learning and all these things became very popular, and each and every domain we are using to get the best out of it, or to make the things how it is, but making it more smart or more advanced using the ML. So Solr is not the like in this case of Solr also we are going to do the same. Like with Solr, how you can actually get the benefits of ML and how Solr can be best advanced using the recent ML approaches and all, that we are going to discuss. At the same time, when you are talking about solar, so it's like very rare case that you will be using solar for very limited number of data. Most of the organization, they have lots of data, and you know how crucial data is. So we all use big data things using Hadoop, the Apache Spark, and all those things. We manage solar, manage big data using all such things. But what if we want to use all these techniques I told you? They have their traditional search technique to handle the big data. But what if we can actually integrate solar on top of big data, so that searching in big data also will be very faster, like how solar provides like the most relevant results and all such things using the long term long text search results. So all these things, if you want to use it on top of big data, how you can do that also, we are going to touch that add-on topics as a scaling the big data with solar. There are also various kind of research and various kind of tool integration that is happening regarding the Apache Solr, that from this academia edu, where you can actually get those things, how solar as a tool itself is getting advanced using ML and all such things. They have lots of research papers and all, you can actually have a look in there. And also as an as like using the solar in tool in how other applications are getting advanced or smart. So you can actually have a look in all such topics, research paper on all, in this link that is already provided. Okay, so and then I'm providing here some additional course resources. So I'm going to say something about it. Like, let's say in this today's age, in various YouTube and internet and all, you will be getting various resources. That's okay, and you can actually follow yourself also after this training and all, whichever you find it good and all. But sometimes I've seen that the question always remain is like, which one is the most like, which one you can more rely on, that which one is more genuine and all. So you can definitely have a look from other resources and all, where you are finding it comfortable for yourself after this training. Also with that, I will suggest these topics where this one are directly from the official contribution of the solar, where you can see how solar is implemented, how the coding and all they have used and all these things you can found out from this official contribution GitHub sites. Then from the official sites of solar, you can have their documentation. You can see how they are trying to say in each and every version they are introducing something. Not only that, they also explain why they are introducing that and how you can use it in your application, so that it will be the best fit in your application. So all such things, it's a good practice to follow whenever you will plan using it in your organization after this training, or like you plan using it in a real world application. It's best to go through this guide, go to the particular version that you want to use, and see what are the very special features they are providing, and if those can makes your application really good or not. Like, there are lots of good features, and just that those are available, you used it in or in your application. But this is like not advancing anything, just that some overhead you have added. This might be possible, but what is the good thing? Okay, going to this official website, knowing about this, learning about this, okay, these are the special features and this can help this, and if you have such requirements in your project, then only you will be able to use solar in a best possible way. But for that, you require knowledges about it, kind of features, or what are those features, how best fitted it is and all. So if only if you have such kind of knowledges, then only you will be able to use the solar in a best way. And we can promise that the way we will be gradually covering such topics and all, you will have this kind of confidence in solar, so that you can explore solar later on in a optimized way. We will be doing projects on solar, like that also includes things that we are going to cover in this solar project. So we will be doing a basic project, or a Google search engine kind of very simplified search engine project. We will build one where we will be seeing how, like, using a full text search, where you can say, okay, something like, let's say, books related to sports and adventure, something like this. This is your full text search. So if somebody searches like this, how you actually take that thing, how you query the solar, and before that, what are the data that you have already fed the solar into, how you actually indexed it and all. For those things, what we will be discussing throughout this session. also we'll be doing a hands-on that, and we will actually build a real project. Then you can see in the real world like how data are getting fed into Solr, how it is getting indexed, and then how in almost no time or in the best possible or best fastest way it is providing you the results. And also we will see in a project we will try to do one project on e-commerce project where like same thing like you see it in Amazon or in other e-commerce site where you actually search something and department wise and all this wise the most relevant result you get. So sometimes like let's say you are trying to find something like let's say you say football, so there is something called football magazine in the magazine section, football in that sports section, and football related t-shirt in the fashion section. But relevancy wise you should get the result something like let's say football from the sports department, and then the second result should be the another like from the fashion department let's say, and the football article from the management result in the third section. So that is like how you actually find the relevancy of the results and then rank it and then show it. So all such things about the Solr we are trying to, and we are going to find it using a project so that we will have a very good hands on that how e-commerce project uses search engine like Apache Solr and all, and they gets what they gets out of it, that we are going to find out through a project that we will be doing it throughout this training. So for lab setup, basically you should have a basic idea about the Java. It will be really useful because kind of examples and the projects and all we will be doing it. We will be doing it in Java, and we will show how using Java we are using Solr. You should have a basic idea about the DBMS. I can tell you why. So that let's say you can actually understand it in a very good way. Okay, we used to do such things in databases, we used to store data this, but what was actually missing, how you should get the relevant result, how you can rank the results in DBMS. Let's say if you are searching something in a very simplified way, if you are searching something, you will be getting the result the which is first in the first, then which is first in the second, which is first in the third, in the row wise, then only you in that manner you will be getting the results. But in Solr you will be getting the most relevant result at top, then the next relevant results and all. So how these things are compared to DBMS, if you wants to see that, it will be most useful. And also it says that it is best when you integrate a database with the Solr. Database is used actually handling how you are managing the data, how you are storing the data, and search engine is like doing the pre-processing on top of that data and providing you the best search results. So knowing DBMS will help you to understand the Solr better. Then I told you about Solr administrative features where you can control a lot of the things and all. There, it's not mandatory like optional, but if in this administrative case, like when you will be searching something in Solr you are getting the results, and if you want to put something and all, this is most user friendly, and I can promise you that without knowing HTML you can get away with it. But if you have a very little knowledge about HTML, what it is and all, you can actually have a better understanding how you are getting the data. So along with HTML, I will also say same thing with JSON, the JSON data format. But if you don't have that JSON file format idea about the JSON file format or about the HTML, it's okay. Don't worry about it. If you have, it is best. And some basic computer fundamentals, like very basic. So like how to generally use with the computers, and also uh, that basic idea will really help. System requirements, any kind of recent machine, local machine you have for this training, it will be okay with standard ways like you have Mac, Windows, or the any Linux distributions like Ubuntu or other kind of Debians or kind of other Linux operating systems. So if you have any recent or standard OS in your machine, and any standard machines with let's say 8 GB, 16 GB kind of RAMs and kind of recent OSs and all, you are okay with it. There is no such special requirements for Solr. And then your system should actually should be able to install the recent Java. So that is one kind of requirement. So there is one things that MindMajix provide is that mock interviews. So let's say after completion of this course, if those successfully completed participants who wants to evaluate themselves, like how we actually they they actually have learned it, or how actually they have like learned or applied or experienced this course, and then they wants to go for some job in this section. But before that, they wants to evaluate themselves through like through mock interviews and also mock, this MindMajix organization provides that, and you can actually avail this service having a mock interviews, and then you can get to know about the positive sides about it, how weak you are, how strong you are, and what are the things you should actually still needs to cover or still need to polish before your interview. Then certifications, like it's a Apache open source and free source, so there is no official certification is available from Apache organization. You can't there is no official certification for Solr. It's just open source free tool. You just learn it by yourself and go for the organizations and all. It will be more than enough. And for certification, you can go for this topic, this sites, but also MindMajix provides you a course of completion certificate that will be enough, I guess, for your interviews, that you actually have completed some training on Solr. But more than that, it will be required your knowledge, and that should be, if you are applying for a good organization where they are using search engine heavily, the only thing will be required is like identify that you have completed something like this, that you can get it from the MindMajix certificate of completion. But more than that, you actually should do well in the interview. For that, you should be knowing things in very details. And hopefully, by the topics that we are going to deliver in this training session, we are actually very positive that you will get all such things to crack a interview in a very good or professional organization where they are using the search engine heavily. So that was all about this training session, what you are going to do, what are the additional courses and all you can and do on top of that, the resources that you can follow, and the kind of certificates you will be getting. But I still believe that that was mostly about the training that you are going to get. But you might have more queries, like the what are the other scope of this, and then what will be the schedule that can match your schedule or not, and the kind of references if you want. Then one most important thing is like, oh, what is the cost of that, and how you can do the payments and all such things. And along with that, it could be some other several queries you could have. But for that, I will suggest you the email here given to you, and this number of India and US's numbers are given to you. Please get like just be in touch with MindMajix, and MindMajix will help you to solve all of your queries regarding that. And hopefully you can start with this solar session very soon. So thank you all. See you very soon. For any queries or any feedback about this session and all, please contact MindMajix, and the contacts are given in this slide.